Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, well, it's really strong performance. We know the Lions have had their troubles and their battles, and but we've come here before and haven't been able to play as well as we did tonight, so it's pleasing.
Still hope this season, obviously, for the finals.
Yeah, it's still alive, isn't it? I think the results tonight at least keeps us alive and keeps us thinking and dreaming a little. But we control what we control, and that's next week.
Obviously, the big talking point, John Butcher. What does it mean to him?
It just gives him some belief, gives him some confidence, I would imagine, going forward. But there's a lot of work to do still for John. But if a bloke's giving you what he's got and trying his heart out, I think you give him a big pat in the back tonight and say, well done, John.
Change of list decision going forward?
Oh, they're not made. They're not even decisions. I asked that before the game. List decisions don't get made 5 rounds out. I said it before we left to come up that people can play their 5 best games in their career in the last 5, and that changes lots of things. So that's not just John. That's anyone.
Jared Pollock's best game of the season.
Yeah, it was good. And again, he had some extra stuff that he's come back up against his old side, and he has had a disappointing season. It was good for us to see him play the type of football we know he can play, and he brought into key things for Polly. He worked really hard and tight in contests, got some tackles, and then got some ball on the outside, which was positive.
You can only play the opposition that you're playing against, Ken, but is it hard to measure?
Oh no, I think you measure what we control and our own stuff, and the way we went about it. We had somewhere close to 80 entries, got a lot of opportunities, took a lot of marks inside our 50, kicked a big score. So if you look at the way you play and the way you perform, you go, okay, well that's a pretty big tick for what we were, and we take on the opposition that's put in front of us, and week to week that changes.
Is it pleasing that the boys kept going as well? I mean, game was effectively blown apart by half time, but you happy?
Yeah, I like that part. I like the part that we were able to be, quite ruthless in the way we went about it, and they just kept at it and stuck the process pretty well. So it was pleasing for them.
If you're being really picky, Ken, did you feel you were a little bit wasteful almost? Like there was a lot of sort of quite gettable shots.
Yeah, there was a few we wasted, and we talked about that. We talked to the boys during the game and at the end of the game and at half time. We mentioned the fact that's your responsibility to go back and finish. Again, having spent some time up here in the past, you understand the conditions make it a little bit more tricky. It's quite greasy out there in any night game you play up in Queensland. So but there's some responsibility, and they didn't quite finish the work that they perhaps could have.
I think we found the ruck duel quite enthralling, and not many great duels out there, but how did you sort of assess that?
I think there was 25 clearances between the 2 rucks. That's quite amazing, isn't it? And some of them there was one of the ones that confused you a little bit is the free kick stuff that goes on a little bit in some of the contests, but the umpires do their best in that space. But Jacko's been I think he's had 29 clearances in the 2 games against the Brisbane, so he probably, from his point of view, he probably enjoys rucking against Brisbane. But he's been strong for us all year, and the young fella for them, Smith, done a pretty good job. He's pretty exciting a couple of times when he jumped. Nearly jumped over Jacko, and he's 197 centimetres, so it's a big leap. So I'd be pleased. I reckon they'd be pretty pleased with his first game.
How's Hammer, Ken?
Yeah, he's okay. He got a little nick in his calf, unfortunately. It was in the warm-up. We actually had Jimmy Toumpas up here because we thought there was another player that may have had some doubt. Luckily, we had someone here, and the other player got through, and Hammer went down in the warm-up. He just run out in the ground and trained last night, no problems. Quite a simple little and really minor little thing. So I'd say he's a chance for next week, but he just didn't feel comfortable enough to go, and we lose him. But we had Jimmy Toumpas to bring in, so it was pleasing.
Who was the other player?
Yeah, I'll keep that to myself.
And obviously, it must be confidence for Sydney next week now.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. It's a great challenge. We've gone up there and played pretty well a few times, so we look forward to that opportunity. What I look forward to is some of the clashes that may be there for us. We're really young. Cleary's probably going to go up against, Buddy Franklin. What a great little contest for him to go for, and some of our young forwards. Our makeshift forward line that we went with this week. They're going to get some. John's probably going to get Grundy in great form, great challenge. We're going to get a midfield that's ferocious at the contest, and an area that we've worked incredibly hard this year on to get ourselves into contests around clearance. We've enjoyed the physical contest, and we know Sydney will give us an opportunity to practice that against the absolute best.
You're pleased with Molly's disposals decision there?
I thought he used the ball really well, bar finish. I really liked Ollie's game tonight. I thought he had some attention from Robertson, and he just worked him into the ground. I thought a fair bit early, and then he just didn't quite damage him as much as he should have on the scoreboard. And look, if he had finished his work, it would have been a pretty impressive game from a pretty big inside mid who doesn't do all his work on the outside.
Thanks, guys.
All good?
Thanks, Hank.
Thank you.
Thanks.